So, I just want to get this out of the way early. I apologise for the audio on this episode. This idiot, snapped the memory card which had the microphone audio on it. Therefore, I've had to send the audio of the cameras to some nerds, and they have extracted as much of the background noise as they can. So I apologise for that. I am doing another episode with this gentleman, so I just want to say I apologise for the audio. And this episode is with my barber, Nick Connolly, the owner of Connolly & Co. Barbershop on the Gold Coast. So please check them out. He keeps me looking fresh. Keeps my mullet fucking flowing, and he keeps my beard looking good. Also, special shout out to Cowboy Grooming Co., who have supplied me with my beard oils, which keep my beard non-itchy, feeling silky smooth, and looking fresh. So now, let's get into it.
You are now listening to the Off-Season Podcast, where we have intriguing chats with intriguing people. Oh yeah, tell me more. And now, your host, Kyle.
Alrighty, this week we are sitting in Connolly Barbershop with Nicky.
He's a funny thing. We had three groups of mates back in the day called Nick.
Yeah.
And I was wearing this hoodie, and it was an Elwood skate brand hoodie, and had a big E on it. So by high school, it was Nicky.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's stuck ever since.
Yeah, it threw me. Yeah, he did throw me. Now, you've been a barber here on the Gold Coast for
8 years.
8 years?
8 years, yeah.
Yep.
I moved here 2015.
Yep. From
Christchurch, NZ.
Yep.
Yeah. Previously doing hairdressing since I was 17.
Yep.
All up 18 years. I've seen it, the fashion, the trends, come and go. I've noticed barbering's kicked off probably the past 8 years, 9 years. We're seeing more of a need, I guess, for that man space.
Yeah.
Something more healthier than catching up at the local pub.
That's very true.
I do enjoy the barbering aspect. I like barbering because it's a funny one. It's such a tough, masculine kind of portrayed image.
Yeah.
But in the day, it's men playing with other men's hair.
And you haven't always been a barber?
No. I was a hairdresser to begin at 17 years old. Started hairdressing. It was purely just a joke. I wanted to meet girls.
It's a good spot to do it, I suppose.
Yeah, well, hairdressing kind of it took a turn. I was really good, and I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And I kind of like the creative kind of side of things, and just the people. I like people.
Meeting girls.
Meeting girls was a bonus. But in fact, hairdressing for so long, it kind of put me off girls.
Yeah.
And I needed, to get back in the man book.
Yeah. So when you were younger, did you want to be a hairdresser or a barber?
I wanted to be in the military. Yeah. Yeah, it was crazy. It was a crazy switch. Left school, 15, 16, trained up to do special forces, and I failed medical.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
What was wrong?
Asthma.
Oh, yeah, I got that.
Yeah, I didn't think that was going to be an issue.
Yeah.
It was the training's up in, I think it's pretty high up in the mountains, and with my asthma was pretty bad back then.
Yeah, right.
So it kind of took a turn. So took a year off. 17, just reassessed, and I just seen this this academy, this hairdressing academy, and 60 women walking out of this academy, and I'm outside having a coffee at this cafe with the boys, and I'm like, "Wow, what's that?" And I said, "Oh, it's the hairdressing academy." I said, "Fuck, I'm not a hairdresser, eh?" So I just walked in and signed up.
Yeah.
And then the rest is history.
True.
Yeah.
So you did hairdressing for?
About 12 years.
True.
Yeah.
12 years.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And then that transitioned into barbering.
Yeah, well, basically, people like ask what's the difference with hairdressing and barbering. Hairdressing is more a lot of colour work, a lot of scissor work. You've got, blow waves, hair ups, chemical work, perms. It's mainly directed at females. A lot of my, I guess, back then was 80% female clientele.
Yeah.
I'm talking 15 years ago, 10 years ago, men weren't getting haircuts every 2-3 weeks. You're lucky you're getting a haircut every 6 to 8 weeks.
Yeah.
Guys' hairstyles weren't as short. It was more scissors. And basically, it was a lot of colour work. A lot of men had colours. I would say probably like early 20s. It was a lot of colour work. These days, I'm noticing a trend with the barbering. Guys are getting perms now. Guys are starting, chucking a bit of colour here and there.
Yeah.
It's evolving.
Yeah.
That's cool. I'm enjoying it.
Big time. It is. You've got a very loyal clientele in your shop.
We've got a big clientele.
Yeah.
We've got a massive clientele here. It's cool because we're tucked away. So I'm directed at more at locals.
Yeah.
I want to be a hidden gem.
Yeah.
If you know, you know.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's a good little spot. It's a very safe space.
Yeah, it's private. The inspiration to Colin & Co. was basically probably about 6 years ago. I went on a cruise with my partner, and it was a Great Gatsby theme cruise. I never watched the movie Great Gatsby, and I fell in love with the movie. Just if you haven't seen it, it's an awesome movie. It's a love story, and it really kind of it took me away from reality. And those movies you watch, and it just takes you away from everything around you. That's what I wanted to kind of create with Colin & Co.
Yeah.
I wanted to create a place that it's just tucked away. You walk in here, the barbers are in suits. You're offered a whiskey or a beer, and you're just in this comfort. This men's very masculine.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's very warming and welcoming.
Yeah. Well, that's definitely what you feel when you walk in. Everyone says hello, and you get offered your beer.
Yeah. Well, I wanted to change the game. I felt like when I first moved to Australia 8 years ago, there was no bookings in barbershops. Barbers didn't have their own clientele. You had to wait an hour and a half to get a haircut. For me, I find having the hairdressing background, it was more structured. It should be fun. Booking a haircut shouldn't be stressful.
Yeah.
Coming in and getting a haircut shouldn't be a maintenance thing. You should want to go to get a haircut, chat with the boys. Your barber should be the guy you chat to. He should know, basically, your life.
Well, yeah, that's actually very interesting because I was thinking about it today, and I was like, apart from yourself, who now I've seen a couple of times, I've only had one other barber in Sydney, Mohammed. He was this Middle Eastern dude in Penrith. He was always good for a chat. He was lovely. But otherwise, it's kind of just been floating around like.
I feel like we've lost in this generation the art of chat, art of conversation. It's sad, but I really, really hope. I think the past few years we've all noticed, a lot of these men's groups, and we're talking more about men's health. And I really hope the barbering scene takes a turn, and we start, getting together more, catching up with our clients, not just for work purposes, but creating these men's sheds community. Because a lot of these barbershops, they have no idea the potential they have, what they're creating. It's not a service. I'm not here to cut hair and leave and go home. I actually take interest in my clients. I'm interested in what they do. I wouldn't be where I am today without my clients.
Yeah.
Because I like to know knowledge, and I like to ask questions.
Yeah. I think it's harder to find a good barber than it is to find a woman.
To be honest, that is very true. The thing with the barbering, the barbers haven't realised yet, that it's about consistency. It's not about how many haircuts you cut in a day, but it's how many come back.
Yeah. And like we said, everyone is very loyal here.
Yeah, well, me and my staff, you know, I've got one single barber here. I'm looking for another barber, but I'm not desperate right now. I've been through a few.
If you know anyone.
Yeah. I think my retention's like 96-97% retention rate. Clients come back, book it in.
Yeah, right.
And my other senior, this is 91-92%. Yeah.
It's a good strike rate. And now you've got an apprentice as well?
I've got an apprentice, high school apprentice. He works 2 days a week here.
Yeah.
Basically, I feel like I want a mentor.
Yeah.
You know, just there's a lot of influences out there, and not all good. So I kind of feel like I want to be, you know, one of these good ones who kind of can influence just young guys, young men. You know, we have all ranges of guys here. Like fortunately, we have guys, you know, from the age, you know, first haircuts to I think my oldest client's like probably 90. Yeah, and he comes in because it brings him back to when he was a little boy with his dad going to the barber shop.
That's right.
Yeah, so for me that's a special thing.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
That is cool. Now you personally have the most messed up routine I've seen. You are awake at fuck knows what time and at the gym at what, 3:30 in the morning? I'm thing is, if I don't go to the gym in the mornings I can't sleep. Yeah.
So my brain is rattled constantly. And it's not bad. It's just I constantly thinking.
Yeah.
Basically, I try and find some time alone. You know, I've got 3 kids, and 2 of my kids are in Gold Coast live with me, and 2.5 and 4.5 years old. They're up at 5:36 in the morning, every morning. So if I want to get a step ahead, I need to go to the gym before they wake up.
Yeah.
So every time I get up, guys, it's 3 a.m. or 3:30.
Oh,
And I smash the gym.
Gross.
Yeah,
it's so gross.
Fuck, trust me. It takes a while, like a couple of days, 2 or 3 days to get into a rhythm.
Yeah.
The problem is I get too obsessed. So what happened, I was getting up at 2 in the morning. I was trying to live off 4 or 5 hours of sleep a day. And you know what? It all catches up to me.
Yeah.
You know, like I think after about 6 weeks of doing that, man, I had influenza A, got sick.
Yeah.
And that's your body telling you, man.
I think
you
it's
don't
like
rest.
me.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
It definitely caught up.
Yeah, I go because I enjoy what I do. You know, like I like my life. I love my friends and clients, and I look in the mirror and I like the guy. You know, and not many men can say that.
Yeah, no.
You know, I've been through hell and back, but it's not a sad story.
Yeah.
You know, I think we've all got chapters in our life, and you know, our life is a book. You know, you can rewrite chapters anytime you want.
Yeah.
It's up to you.
Yeah, big time. Now, you originally from New Zealand. What is your background?
Okay, a lot of people ask me this.
Because you look like Jason Momoa, which I'm sure you get a lot.
Sometimes Brad Pitt too. Yeah, so this is interesting. So I'm half Irish and I'm half Indian.
Indian?
Yeah. So
right.
yeah, my mum's Hindu.
True.
So yeah, and I was raised Hindu,
Yeah.
Catholic, and I am a Christian.
Yeah, right.
And I'm all about the universe and manifesting and affirmations, and I love anything new.
Yeah.
You know, I'm open to everything. You know, like I'm not biased with anything, man. I think it's better to love them all.
Far out.
Yeah.
But you were raised in New Zealand.
Yeah, I was raised in New Zealand. I've also got a Canadian passport. My mum's Canadian. Yeah.
Oh, true.
Yeah, so I'm a mix. I grew up, like, you know, a rough area of Christchurch.
Yeah.
Mainly headed back against the wall most of the time. But I had a beautiful family. You know, great mum and great dad. You know, they put the time into raising us and spending time with us. Especially with me having ADD.
Yeah.
I did every sport you can think of, I've done. You know, I was very creative. My parents never limitated me, never said I couldn't do anything. They'd always support me. And I feel like it's very important these days, you know, for these young kids to, you know, be encouraged. You know, fucking aim for the moon, hit the stars, fuck it.
100%.
I think the game changer for me was probably high school. My dad took me to a high school other side of Christchurch, which I knew no one. You know, I was the only one from my intermediate, that's middle school, who went to that high school, and it was a chance for me to, I guess, reinvent myself. As a child, I was quiet, I stuttered, I was mute, couldn't read or write, didn't have any friends, and I had low self-esteem. Used to see a speech therapist, and basically the speech therapist said to me, you know, when you're reading out lines or you're role playing, you don't stutter. You know, you kind of adapt into the character. She's like, I want you to write down your alter ego. You know, so I wrote down all these kind of, you know, happy, confident, smiling, you know, kind of guy. And eventually I became my alter ego. So over a few years in high school, when no one knew me, no one knew that I used to stutter. I didn't stutter in high school. You know, I became my alter ego.
True.
Yeah.
That's very interesting.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's cool, and it keeps evolving.
Yeah.
You know, like I guess when I was hairdressing, the hardest thing about hairdressing was it's a very female dominant area.
Yeah.
You know, you try to be a 17-year-old boy telling your mates you're a hairdresser, and they're all mechanics and, you know, builders and engineers.
Yeah.
You copped a lot of shit.
Oh, fuck! I can imagine. I can imagine until they want you to set them up with.
Fuck, that's it. Hey, I'll show you my work, dude. You show me yours.
Yeah, exactly.
You know? Yeah. I had fun. I think challenging being a guy is your 20s.
Yeah.
20s is tough. You know, you're realising who your real mates are. The mates in high school. You know, your best mate in high school, you don't catch up with anymore because he's too busy working or he's got a girlfriend. You've got new jobs. You're trying to find a career. Trying to find a passion. Pressure of you know, your 20s. I'm hearing these clients who are in the mid-20s, they're thinking they've got to have it all.
Yeah.
You got to have the house deposit, you got to have Bitcoin, you got to have investment, you got to have a side hustle, you got to know what you're doing. Fuck. I moved here when I was 28.
Yeah.
And I started fresh, and trust me, like, we put way too much pressure on ourselves.
Yeah, big time. Especially with the whole house thing.
Oh.
Need a nice car.
Yeah.
Nice car, nice house.
Yeah, it's sad, because, you know, like, there's no finish line,
Yeah.
and you're going to wake up one day and realise that life's just passed you by, and you're too worried about tomorrow or next week or the bills. You know, a good friend of mine once said, if money's your only problem, well, that's the least of your worries.
Yeah.
You know, and a lot of people these days, they're telling us the stress, money's tight, you know, and we'll have a look at your expenses. You know?
Yeah.
You're living pretty comfortable, and money's still tight. I'm pretty sure our parents didn't have a couple $100, $300 to spare every week.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you know.
Well, yeah. And some people just need to cull some things.
Yeah, like I feel like we live in the world that we won't sacrifice our comfort.
Yeah.
You know, I like a challenge.
Yeah.
As my dad always said, I was born with an ego. You know, the thing is, I didn't know how to express it.
Yeah.
You know, I was a bit of a naughty kid, just because I was frustrated.
Yeah.
I do now have a 4-year-old son who and had a 2.5-year-old daughter who had the same symptoms as me.
Your son's got the ego.
Oh yeah. Well, my daughter's got the ego and the confidence. My son just has that behavioural issues.
Do you enjoy having young kids?
Yeah. Well, I was a father at 18.
Yeah.
So I've got a 16-year-old boy, and I guess a lot of us don't have a second chance about being a parent, you know. And well, I got a gift, you know. I got a second chance of being a dad in my 30s, and prior to that, I was a great dad in my teens and in my 20s. But one thing that, you know, I appreciate now is being more present with my kids, you know, as they're young and learning and teaching them.
Yeah.
And I guess teachers, you know, kids are our greatest teacher. They slow us down. They ask us a lot of questions, and I feel like with time going so quickly, we don't just stop and just stare at our children and think, wow, they're a human being, and they've got thoughts and feelings just like us, but they can't regulate their feelings. So we need to take our time and understand. Stop, listen to your kids, play with them. Fuck, life's about playing.
Do you find it hard to manage the whole work life?
I did. I put way too much pressure on myself. Having kids and business, I work too hard and I stress too much about the kids. And it really took a toll, I feel like you need to step back a bit. I think we're always planning for tomorrow, but tomorrow may never come. So I feel like now I slow down a bit. I'm not in such a rush. I enjoy sometimes, like running a bit late for work. Give my kids a bit of extra cuddles. I get home sometimes doing a 10-hour shift, and my daughter's like, cuddle me, give me a kiss goodnight. And I've just done 10 hours and I'm bugging. But when you're sitting on the end of the bed and you're reading her book and she says she loves you, that gives me the momentum and the drive. I don't want my kids to grow up and not know their father. Because we have a lot of issues these days of daddy issues. I'm not just talking about this woman. I'm talking about men. A lot of men
100%
have daddy issues. I used to have them, we had daddy issues. A lot of us men, we just want our dads to give us a call and say, hey son, I'm so proud of you. We're waiting for our dad to give us a call and say, I love you. But the one thing that, I've kind of realised that how many of us have called our parents up and never been grateful or showed gratitude of what they've sacrificed. No one was born to be a parent, we have to learn it.
It's funny you said that because I just watched something with, do you know who Shannon Sharp is? The old NFL Hall of Famer.
No, but explain.
Yeah, so he's an older, well he's not older, maybe 50s or whatever now, ex-NFL star, like Hall of Fame, and he was running through on a podcast about how his granddad would never say I love you to his dad, so then his dad never said it to him and it's passed down. And then he had said something to his dad about it, like, you've never said I love you, and he goes, put a roof over your head, I put food on the table, that's me saying I love you. And so, Shannon walked through it about how men have to come out and tell their kids that they love them and they're proud of them, because otherwise...
Well, the thing is, you've got to understand with our parents, their childhood. And it's passed on. I always tell people, apple doesn't fall far from the tree. And it doesn't have to repeat itself. Well, I find my dad was Irish Catholic, and he grew up hard times. He lost his dad when I was born, so you can imagine, he's the eldest out of 4 children, and being 30 years old and having me, and then his dad passes on 3 months later. I didn't understand how much of the impact that was to my dad until recently, a couple of years ago, when he started doing some more research on his father, and he started, understanding his dad more. And I come to terms with it that my father lost his dad when I was born, and I'm 35 and I'm really getting close to my father now. I couldn't imagine losing my dad at 30. In our late 20s, we drift apart from our parents. I think we're trying to find our own self.
100%.
But I swear, man, it takes a phone call or drop that pride. Because once you get to know your parents, you see a whole new side of them. They're just people.
100%.
I've learned, I was, had my son at 18, 19. There was a few things that I would change. I probably wouldn't have gave my phone as much. I used to wear a phone in my ear, mate, just take it, fuck. You know, let me just do my thing and you play on the phone.
Yeah.
I wasn't as present as I should have been, but hey, I was 18, 19.
Yeah.
You know, I was still learning who I was.
And I suppose it's all learn on the job.
Yeah, you know, like, we're pretty good now.
Yeah.
I go to New Zealand, he comes over here, you know, we talk on the phone, we message each other, and it's exciting. He's 16 and I'm 35. It's crazy.
He's still young.
Yeah, he's still young.
Yeah. So are you.
Yeah, well, fuck, when he's 21, I'm 40.
Yeah, see.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
You can still go out together, it's not weird.
It's crazy. It's cool dynamics, having a son who's 16, but then also having kids who are 4 and 2 now.
Yeah.
I'm a lot more chill, a lot more, you know, I guess I'm a lot more tolerant.
Yeah.
You know, I used to run my house like Iron Fist, you know, like when I was younger. I thought I needed order. Everything had to be done at a certain time, at a certain night. But fuck, you just realise, you know what, kids just want to play.
So I know that you used to have a men's club.
Yeah. So I kind of wanted to get into the more like more of the community.
Yeah.
It was inspired, I guess, 3 years ago when I was working from home in a sealed garage. That's where it started. You know, working from home in a civil garage, and my partner had our first, my second son at the time. And the one thing I didn't really expect was the community. You know, like I used to, all my neighbours, I worked across the street from a primary school, and it was a busy street, and happened to be that outside my house was a zebra crossing, so everyone had to slow down. And I used to have the gates open, and it was cool. You know, like I started getting people beeping, waving, neighbourhood, you know, guys walk past, say hi.
This is all during lockdown.
Yeah. This is all going through all COVID. You know. And the one thing that I didn't expect was the community. You know, you start knowing everyone down your street, and I feel like that was more momentum for us to, you know, get back to basics. We assume too much when we see people on social media that their lives are all happy and everything's going well, you know. But I don't think we ask enough questions, and we don't have that time, that downtime. We catch up with our mates, parties, town, you know, RSLs or social events, but we don't really talk just about life.
Yeah.
And I feel like we've got too much distractions around us, that when you create a men's group and you don't provide alcohol, you don't have the music on, you don't have, you know, I guess the background noise, you just start talking about everyday stuff. You realise that we're actually all kind of in similar positions, you know, and you get a lot of good advice. You know, this men's group, we've got, you know, guys in their teens, early 20s, 30s, 40s, 60s, and you know, I think we'll go through different chapters. Go through the stage of building a career, and then you go through a stage of meeting your partner, and you travel, you know, you get and then you get engaged, and then you learn to live with each other, and then you have children, and then you learn your two different parent styles, you know.
How not to kill each other.
Yeah, fuck, you know. And also, these men's groups, you get advice from a lot of different men. And I feel like what we've lost, and this is what I'm trying to create in the barbershop, is a place where you have all walks of life and all ages of men sharing wisdom and experiences. Because, you know, we learn from our dads, and our dads learn from their dads, and normally we had grandparents around.
Yeah.
So your grandparents will tell you, take it easy, be slow, you know.
Yeah.
And the thing is, when you have kids and you start watching your parents start being grandparents towards your kids, you realise they're a bit more chilled, they're a bit more relaxed, you know. And it's just an age thing.
Yeah.
It's just like you just passed on the wisdom.
Yeah.
In our 20s, we're full go. Like go. We've got a chest out, back straight, and we're on the defensive. You know, you get to your mid-30s and 40s, and you kind of learn to love and care and be kind. You know, and Man, I don't even know what it's going to be like when I'm 40, 50s. Fuck, I can't wait.
What? Oh,
I'm excited. I'm excited, yeah. Because it only gets better.
Time's going too fast.
I know, but it's you know what? It's beautiful. You know, I feel like the man I am today versus the man I was 10 years ago when I was 25. Fuck.
Yeah.
Day and night. And the most exciting part about that is the next 10 years. You know, we're all growing.
Yeah.
At least you're going backwards. But I feel for you, boy.
I'm scared. I'm 30 next year. I don't want that.
Oh, mate.
I'm happy staying where I am.
20s is hard. You know, like I feel like in your 30s, it's a great unknown.
Yeah.
You know, like plus we put all this pressure on ourselves. Like we all thought in our 30s we were going to be a lot different than we were.
Oh, yeah, big time.
Yeah, it creeps up on you really quick.
Haven't eaten half the goals I wanted to.
Yeah.
Which.
But really, you got to come down to it. That's your own expectations.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, and I feel like we need to be, not too hard on ourselves.
Yeah.
You know, we have to give ourselves a slack.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah. We can't always be go, and you can't always be 100% off.
Yeah, no. We can't always blame COVID either.
Nah, you know what? COVID for me was a fucking blessing in disguise. You know, it rattled us up. It made us really, I think, as a community, you know, band together.
Yep.
You know, fortunately for me, COVID, it didn't stop for me. You know, I had a barbershop from home. I was exempted from lockdowns and isolation. So I can't, you know, relate to a lot of you guys' experiences, being isolated or not seeing families from overseas or missing funerals or birthdays. But for me, it showed me how easy it was for us to divide. You know, from opinion, from the media. Like that was scary.
Well, big time.
Yeah, that was scary. At that time, I had my shop, and I had a staff member who was vaccinated, and a staff member who wasn't vaccinated, and we had all walks of life. You know, and it really opened up my eyes. What COVID did, you know, and the long-lasting effects, and how quickly we forget what happened, and how we just moved on with life so quickly.
It got swept under the rug so quick.
It's like it's taboo to talk about COVID.
Yeah.
And talk about who's vaxxed and who's not vaxxed. Now let me just let this sink in. So a lot of you who are vaxxed, and a lot of you who are unvaxxed. The one thing you have in common that half of you aren't even boosted up yet.
Yeah.
So you may think, you know, the vax and non-vax, it's all segregated and divided. But the common grounds is you did what you needed to do to put food on the plate for your kids. I understand a lot of you got vaccinated because you thought it was the right thing to do. A lot of you had to because of jobs or, you know, across the borders.
Yeah.
You know, there's no right or wrong decision you made, you know. But let's be honest, how many are us up to date with our booster shots?
Yeah, no, it's very strange, isn't it?
Yeah, and we don't talk about it. It's weird. I don't know why we don't talk about it. It's not a taboo thing.
I swear there was an ad on TV the other day about it, seeing if you're up to date.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. They're pushing it, and you know, like we go down this rabbit hole, which we're not going to go down this rabbit hole today. That's for part 2. But it was for me. It was very eye opener to you know, what you believe in and what you're willing to sacrifice to stand your ground.
Yeah.
You know, and how easy it was for people to fold when you take away alcohol, entertainment, and comfort.
Oh. You know how many people threw drinks on me, spat on me, and threw things at me when I'd stand on the door of a pub. I'd be like, "You're not vaccinated, you can't come in."
Yeah.
And then I was standing there because at that stage you didn't have to be vaxxed to work. And they're like, "Well, you vaxxed?" I'm like, "No, but I'm still here." And it was a very interesting time in the world.
Well, yeah, it was. I heard stories with clients. You know, they weren't invited to their Christmas family because they weren't vaxxed. Yeah, it was hectic. And that was one of many stories. I still know family ties now. I don't even speak And unfortunately, it was so easy. It was literally like, hey, we're all in this together. Do it for your community.
Yeah.
And now we don't even speak about it. And I really hope that there's no aftermath in the next 5, 6, 10 years of what's about to happen. I really hope that there's a positive outcome from this. I hope we get close as a community. I hope we get to know our neighbours. We learn not to rely on the government. I hope you realise that we've got Zoom calls now. We can work from home. There's other ways to make income. That's what I'm thinking is positive.
Yeah. Looking back at it, I wish I utilised the time at home. I just remember I just want to go back to work. I'm stressing, what's going on? I'm not making an income now, I've got no money now, I've got to dip into the savings that I've got.
Well,
It's just all...
You know what? Try and have 2 little kids.
Yeah, exactly.
Being locked down at home. Fortunately I work from home, so I got a bit of escape. But some of these guys, man, in Melbourne, or they're locked in fucking in apartments. Imagine being locked in an apartment for 3, 4, 5, 6 months.
Yeah.
Don't even leave to go to work. With the kids,
We're definitely all paying for it now.
Yep.
A lot of people angry with their tax bills.
Oh.
I don't understand how everyone's got a bill this year. Everyone.
I know.
Even the people that do the right thing, get that bill.
Well, people didn't realise that when you got JobKeeper and all that stuff, that was an income.
Yeah, it had to come back somehow.
And, obviously when you take the super as well, it stung a lot of people. I tend to do everything that everyone's not doing. I always found it a bit kind of sketchy that they dropped interest rates 0.5% or 2%, and they gave you out your super, and they lowered all the interest rates. And it was only fixed for 2 years.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's a bit fishy. But at the same time, there's a lot of things that come out of it. A lot more people are more, aware of, what they're putting in their body. A lot more people are aware of, chemicals around us. What we're eating and how we're feeling. We're starting to understand more and more. So, I guess with every bad there is good. I appreciate that I can cut hair from anywhere. And mind you, we had a fucking deadly virus, and I was still fully completely booked out. God, hey, if I thought that this is a real deadly virus, do you think I would let people into my house cutting their hair? No way. No way.
Yeah. That did have a lot of positives, like you said. It was.
Yeah, it was. I guess the one thing too, as you said before about money, it made us realise that we can't live off the government getting paid $700 a week.
No way. That was the biggest kick in the nuts.
Yeah. So I feel like it should motivate people.
In saying that, I did buy a house during COVID.
Well, hey, that's the beauty. A lot of people did well,
I think in the long, we didn't overextend ourselves like a lot of people did.
Yep.
We definitely stuck within our budget. A lot of people are paying for it now where we're not.
Well, I got a shop in COVID.
Yeah.
I work from home in a single garage, and I saw a lot of leases up and a lot of empty shops. So I pulled the trigger in 2020, and I negotiated a mad deal. And no one knew the future. No one knew the next 3 or 4 months.
Yeah.
To be honest, I had a lot of clients tell me it was a bad idea. Don't do it, it's uncertain times. So I used my house deposit to take out a shop, and check us out on Instagram, bro. It's a pretty mad shop. We got 1920s, Great Gatsby, Peaky Blinders thing.
Yeah, it's a cool thing.
And you really feel like you stepped back in time.
Yeah, let's see us calling in. Let's see. I do enjoy this shop.
I designed it myself, and
true.
yeah, I just went with it. I guess sometimes I've got a great imagination.
Yeah.
creativity side. That's why I'm a barber, hairdresser, I guess. I just want people to feel comfortable. I don't want to cut corners on the main things, like the chairs, the waiting area. You know, I've spent a lot of money on here, but also a lot of effort, and it shows, I guess, that you're comfortable in here.
It's good. Come in and wait where you don't have to sit on like an uncomfy chair.
Yeah.
Sit down, play some arcade games.
Talk shit.
Yeah.
Smoke cigars.
Talk some. Yeah. That's the way to go.
We've got no smoke alarms, Phil.
Nah, yeah, that's cool. But one of the things that someone did ask us ask you was, when you have a client, are you happy if they just look at you and just say, do whatever?
Okay, great question.
That's not how we worded it. I'll tell you how we worded it.
Okay, how did he word it?
Would you prefer your customer sit down and let you cook?
Okay.
Jamie Soward.
Okay, this is the thing, people. When you're a new client and you come sit down in my chair and you say, do whatever you want, you have to understand, I've got about 1,000 hairstyles in my head. Now, I need to ask you some questions first. I need to ask you, how often do you do your hair? How much maintenance do you want? What kind of job do you do? What's your kind of style? Before I can even make the decision of just do whatever. Because what I think looks cool, you might hate. So that is probably the worst thing you can do when you're a new client, is go to a barber and go, do whatever you want. Give them some direction, maybe show them a couple of pictures, just as inspo, and tell the barber of what you like about their hair. Is it the fade? Is it the texture? Is it the length of the fringe? All those questions, are helpful. If you're a regular client and you trust your barber, man, I can't remember the last time the clients told me what to do. They just sit in the chair and cut hair, and then I'm like, oh shit, that's right, what are you doing today? But I feel like if you're a new client and you're going to a barber for the first time, give them some direction. It is hard when I do have new clients come in and go, oh mate, I've heard about you, do whatever you want. I feel like it's like a first date.
Yeah.
When you first meet someone, you have a chat to them, you ask them questions, you get to know who they are. Maybe the third appointment, your barber knows who you are, he knows your kind of style, he knows what kind of job you're doing.
Yeah.
Then you kind of can, do whatever you want.
Just go for it.
Yeah, so great question. Yeah. I get that a lot.
So yeah. People just come in and just,
Mate, do what you want. Trust out.
like regulars or?
Yeah, well, sometimes I knew. I did have a client who was regular, and he said to me, do whatever you want. And people know I hate that question. So I shaved his hair off to a zero. Oh man, you should have seen the look on his face, eh? He has never, ever said that again to me.
Some help see that?
Yeah. He learned his lesson. Because I said to him, mate, reality is when you ask me to do whatever I want, well, I'm going to do the quickest, most easiest haircut I can do. Take 5 minutes.
Yeah, true. Yeah. Another question was, have you ever had any bad mistakes? Like cutting someone?
Oh, yeah.
Cutthroat?
Not a cutthroat. This must have been about, I'd say, 10 years ago. This is when mullets and reddies were in, and the back end. They weren't that common 15 years ago, I guess the old boys still kept on, they still had them. And I had this one guy, and he had a red stub. And we're just talking, I was cutting his hair. And as I was cutting his hair, I completely forgot. And I shaved his fucking rat tail off. And this ratty was like fucking 10 years old.
Oh no.
Beautiful plait. And it dawned on me that I just cut it off. Now he had not noticed, because we were in deep conversation, that I just cut his ratty off. So I spent the rest of the half an hour convincing him to cut it off. He needed to reinvent himself, it's so old, change your look. You know, fortunately he agreed.
Oh.
And he goes, you know what, mate? Yeah, let's do it. Let's cut the radio off. And I said, oh, fortunately I've already done that, mate. That was, that was a scary moment. Because you can tell, you can really tell, doing it for 18 plus years. I noticed a lot of barbers and clients when they're, in other shops. You can tell if the client's unhappy because he'll stop talking. You can tell a barber doesn't know what he's doing when he stops talking. And I feel like when I go in barbershops, I always go to barbershops and watch and check them out. And sometimes you see a barber who he's in too deep, the hair's too long and he doesn't know how to start it. So he'll comb the fucking hair like 10, 20, 30 times in the same spot because he's figuring out, okay, where do I start this haircut? And it's funny because a lot of these new barbers, they're not being trained, basic scissor work.
Yeah.
It's all just fades, and I'll tell you, my prediction in the next, 2, 3, 5 years, 10 years, we're going to have longer hair. Just like in the 1920s, and the 30s and the 40s and the 1950s. A lot of barbers had a lot of jobs because they're short sides and back, And then we hit the 70s and 80s, and that's when men grew their hair long, had colour, got perms. Well, that's why, and then there was no more, barbers.
Yeah.
Barbers kind of faded out because the short sides and back kind of, lost its trend. And now we're entering, phase of the short sides and backs, the mullets. So we're getting the perms, we're getting the colour.
Perfect.
And I'm noticing a lot more men having their hair a bit longer. I don't think it's going to be significantly like, every man's going to grow his hair long.
Yeah.
But I do feel the need that more barbers need to step up and understand, it's not a haircut, it's not just a fade.
Yeah.
There are many other hairstyles, and you've got to consider bone structure, hair density, face shape, the texture of the hair, the age of the man, what's appropriate haircut.
Yeah. Rat style.
Yeah. I'm a bit obsessed when it comes to barbering because I like people.
Yeah.
So for me, cutting hair is a byproduct. I like talking to people, and ADD, I guess, keep my hands busy cutting hair.
True. Yeah.
And
Well, there you go. Well, that comes to, where do you get your hair cut? Do you cut your own hair, or do you have someone?
Okay, good question. I have long hair. In fact, I always go somewhere that no one knows me. Because when I sit down and get a haircut, and people know, my experience with hairdressing and barbering, they keep asking me questions, and it's not relaxing. Unlike for you guys, you sit down in the barber chair and you've got your barber and you're having your whiskey or your beer, having a chat. You're not even second guessing what your barber's doing. Now, for a guy with 18 years experience, watching the stylist cut my hair, and then asking me, oh, should I go shorter, should I go longer? Hey Nick, where should I do this part? I don't want to think. I want to relax too. So I tend to go anywhere.
Yeah.
I tend to go to a salon, and for me it's pampering. I don't even tell them I'm a barber or a hairdresser.
What do you say if they ask?
It comes out.
Afterwards?
Well, the funny thing is, it comes out, then they all start backtracking.
Yeah,
and
they do.
I'm like, fuck, I've got long hair.
Yeah.
Come here like a girl. Tickle my hair.
Simple. Simple. One of my all-time favourite movies is Sweeney Todd.
Yes, I love
Johnny
it.
Depp.
Yeah.
Does that ever run through your mind?
You know what? Like, we could get away with murder here. It's pretty easy to slit someone's throat with a cut, though. To be honest, it's pretty easy.
I could imagine.
Yeah. And you got to remember, boys, it's pretty easy for us to fuck your hair up too.
Yeah.
I always tell people, never complain to a chef about your food before you've eaten it.
Yeah, 100%.
I
am a qualified chef.
Okay. So you understand that?
I personally never was a petty person. but I've worked with chefs who I've done some
Oh
fucked up
man.
things.
Yeah. Can you please give us one story?
The best one would just be like a steak that was undercooked, and he literally put it down his pants and then in the deep fryer, and then like you'd know straight away, and then just back on the plate and set it out.
And I ate it.
Yeah, 100%.
And that was the greatest steak ever.
That was so bad. It was so bad.
I just feel like people these days, like they don't appreciate. It's normally the people with no money who act the snobbiest.
Yeah.
You know, in my experience, a lot of my clients are they're bosses. You know, and you wouldn't even know because they don't care. They're not wearing big gold chain. They're not covered in tats. You know, they're coming in shorts and singlet, t-shirts. They're to chill, and you know, they're CEOs and they're great men, polite, grounded. You know, it's the rude ones, are the ones with no money.
Yeah, 100%.
You know, and I've noticed that. You know, that's why I tell people we're busy, not because we're cheap. We're busy because we give a shit, and we have a very high standard in customer service and accommodating every client. You know, we have women in here with kids, and they love coming in here because they're single women, and they love the fact that their kids have good role models as barbers and clients.
Yeah.
And for me, that's kind of cool. You kind of forget that. You know, like sometimes I think I'm just cutting hair, I'm just a barber, but I've got kids I've been cutting hair 8 years now, and I've watched them grow up.
Yeah.
You know, I've had clients tell me their first date, and now they're married with 2 kids with them. You know,
That's pretty rewarding.
yeah, I get invited to birthday parties, engagement parties, gender reveals, weddings. You know, I do a lot of weddings, and you tend to realise, wow, you know, you actually are building a community.
Yeah. And another question also from Jamie was, do you like it when customers talk? We've kind of touched on that.
Okay, to be honest, you know, you've really got to read your client. Now, some clients have come in here and had a big long day, you know, and sometimes they just want to unwind, and they're usually talking. Or sometimes they want the barber to shut the fuck up and listen.
Yeah.
You know, I do feel like it's rude when barbers speak amongst each other and don't interact with the client.
Yeah.
I find that really rude. I enjoy my clients because we're all mates. Clients in my chair, it's not work. It's catch up with a friend.
Yeah.
Answer your question, I enjoy the chat. If your barber doesn't enjoy the chat, then you hit the wrong barber, to be honest.
Yeah.
Your barber should be an 8.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree 100%.
I shouldn't. I've got clients who fly to Sydney, get haircuts with me from Melbourne, Brisbane, and you know sometimes they you know obviously they can't get a haircut every time with me if they live in Sydney and Melbourne, but they do tell me that when they go elsewhere, they're nearly falling asleep because the chat's boring, or the barber's not talking to them, or the barbers aren't even interacting with them. I find that really rude. I feel like, you know, these barbers are kind of, they think they're rock stars, you know. It's like some of these barbers think that you're doing the favour by coming in and getting a haircut.
Yeah.
You know, I appreciate clients who walk in, book in, call up, text us. You know, like for me, I appreciate that people actually make the time to come see me. And that's probably why we have such a massive clientele here.
In saying that, I could easily fall asleep looking at a haircut.
It's
because
very
the
relaxing.
chat's bad.
I do look
Still.
at
Oh.
yeah. Well, think about it. How often do you get opportunity to sit down in a chair, no phone, no TV,
Yeah.
and someone playing with your hair?
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
Especially with my beard, I could just so easily just
It's relaxing.
doze off.
Yeah. It's and that's how it should be.
Yeah.
You know, like I really hope the barber scene continues to grow and to change. I'm loving these men groups. I'm loving how we're talking more about, just masculine and using feminine energies together as a superpower. I do love men are more grounded, and women are taking about the power, I think it's important for both men and women to have their roles but it doesn't, their roles can reverse, and you can, sometimes a man can come home and cook dinner and the partner go out for drinks.
Yeah.
I don't think there should be a rule. Whatever works. I know some men who stay home and the partners work full time.
Yeah, that's mine and my missus agree.
Yeah.
Kids. She's the breadwinner, not me.
Well, honestly, and it takes a strong man to really humble himself and actually take pride about being a stay-home dad.
I reckon you see.
Yeah.
She doesn't like it when I say I'm going to coffee with the girls every morning and stuff.
For me, when I was working from home, I had an opportunity to only do 3 days a week. I had my son, he was about, my partner went to work after my son was 9 weeks old. Yeah, so I stayed home 2 days a week, 3 days a week. I had my work 3 days a week, and my partner stayed home. She worked 2-3 days a week. It was a cool balance. I think every father should at least stay home and let your partner go out for at least a couple of days, just to understand what actually goes on.
Yeah, 100%.
And I take it off to all those single women out there, single mums and single dads. Man, it takes guts, dedication, and a lot of patience to be the mum and dad one person.
It's interesting because a lot of men in my life, like my uncle in particular, he's a stay-at-home dad, and his wife, my auntie, just goes to work, and not just goes to work. She goes to work, and he looks after the 4 kids.
Yeah.
Just always has.
Yep. But the beauty thing about that, I guarantee he's got a great relationship with his kids.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, he knows him inside out.
Yeah.
And I feel like I've noticed a lot of I do the drop-offs at daycare with my kids before work, and I notice a lot more fathers doing pickups than drop-offs.
Yeah.
And it's awesome to see.
Yeah, 100%. It's good to see. Now we'll wrap up this episode. We'll do another one. Definitely do another one. But where can everyone find you?
So OnlyFans. You wish. Connolly and Co. Barbers. You can reach us through Instagram, email. You can we've got a website too. You can text us. We're everywhere.
We'll tag you anyway.
Yeah, just seriously, no questions too small. If you want to know more about barbering, or you want to come in as a client, or you just want to check out the place, seriously, everyone's welcome. We're happy to even come and have a chat.
Yeah, nice. You do also rent the space out?
Yeah. So it's a 1920s kind of decor. Just picture Great Gatsby or Peaky Blinders. I've got a lot of antiques in here. A lot of the stuff is real. It's over 100 years old.
Yeah.
And it's all private. So we've got beautiful velvet curtains. So if you got any photo shoots you want to do, or videos, or OnlyFans, porn. I'm happy to be the lighting guy. I can point directions. But seriously, if you've got photo shoots, or you want to do something cool in here, if you're a photographer or you're a model, or you want to try something dress ups, honestly, I'm really happy to help, and I'm curious of just what's out there and what people want to do.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, people are weird and I love it.
Leather lounge is easy to close.
Oh yes, 100%.
But I'll finish with, what is the weirdest thing a client has asked you?
The weirdest thing. Actually, a few weeks ago, had a client he was having a date, and he needed to shave his back, and so I got my first year apprentice to shave his back.
Yeah, nice.
In the back room.
I might request that next time. Mine needs to be shaved.
It was funny because he had a partner for so long.
Yeah.
So he just took granted it was partner shaving his back.
Yeah, easy.
And then, so that's probably the weirdest request I've had. I'm the man who never says no.
Don't say that. Awesome.
Hey,
Nick.
awesome. Thanks for having me. It's been cool.
Thanks for hosting us. We'll be back.
Yeah. I'm definitely. Hey, if you want me back, vote yes. See you guys.
See ya.
Thanks for checking out this episode of the Off-Season Podcast with your host, Kyle. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe on your favorite podcast platform so that you never miss an episode. Thanks for listening.